9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
SFL night, let's go. Midnight glow, it's time to rise. SFL nights on the starry skies. AJ Striker, feel her heat. The sultry voice, so silky sweet. Whispers in the air, light down low. Bubbly charm, let the stories flow. In the league where dreams unite. Ashley's got you, hold on tight. Under her eyes, SFL players shine bright. AJ's putting you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL night, get in the down low. In the game, she's making plays. Arizona's queen, me leading the way. A community ambassador, off the field, laying on hands, see it all get healed. From the huddle to the show, Ashley's got that infectious glow. Interviews that make you sway. In her presence, you wanna stay. SFL players shine bright. AJ's here for you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL nights, get in the down low. SFL night, let's go. Midnight glow, hey, SFL night, let's go. Midnight glow. From the huddle to the show, Ashley's got that infectious glow. Interviews that make you sway. In the presence, you wanna stay. SFL players shine bright. AJ's here putting you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL nights, getting in the down low. SFL players shine bright. AJ's here putting you in the spotlight. From the field to the mic, Ashley's in the know. SFL nights, getting in the down low. Take turns tonight. Let's go. Turn down those lights. It's Ashley's turn to make you feel so right. Under her lights, as the conversation is about to ignite. It's always SFL nights. Under her lights, let's go.
What is up? What is up? What is up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whatever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. We are back with week 2 review. Had some interesting action that occurred for week 2, which kind of makes week 3 a little bit interesting in making the picks themselves, because there are a couple teams that I have never seen go 0 in anything. They're actually 0-2 right now. So we'll talk about that in a minute. First, I want to give some shout outs. First on the scene is my girl, Ellie. What's going on, baby? Woo! Made it. I'm so glad you did, lady. Thank you for being here. Then I have Justin reside in the building over from Queen City. What's going on, man? Hey, SFL Nights crew, what's going on? And I also have Mr. Ryan Davis over here. How are we doing? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are too, my love. Thank you for being here. I have a couple guests. Actually, I have 3 guests planned for tonight. I'm going to be speaking with Mr. Andrew Gibson and Mr. Jason Peace over from the Houston Headhunters. Need to check on Jason, actually, now that I think about it. But I'll check on him in a minute. I'll give him some time to get in the building. There he is. There he is. I see him. Jason is on the scene. Thank you for being here, love. So, as I was telling the guys in the back, I am going to first do a quick fire week 2 review. If you watch The Streets Are Talking, I don't want to double down on anything that those guys took the time out to go over in detail. So I'm just going to give you that quick review of week 2. I'm going to give you my picks for week 3, let you know where I stand from all the rights and the wrongs. Not too bad this for week 2 anyway. Then we'll get to our interviews. I have Mr. Alex West joining me for a separate interview later on this evening. So after Andrew and Jason, I'm going to play a little song, then we're going to bring Alex up to kind of answer some questions that were growing about the developmental team, about players that are veterans that are on the team, about the announcement, how it was delivered, all of that. So we're going to talk about all of that, clear the air. Just is better to just ask the person that's over it, instead of speculating sometimes. So, all right. So Ellie, of course. Aw, always happy to be here. Always happy to have you, baby. Good, Ashley. Need to get on the show to do a free plug for my girlfriend's company. You know, I got you, man. Hey, I got openings for next week. I got you. Grant Hardaway. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me finish reading that. Free plug for my girlfriend's company and show off the tote bag she made for some Queen City logos. Heck yeah, I would love to be able to promote that for you, man. Just let me know and I got you. And Grant Hardaway, met him at the convention. What's up, man? And I can't wait to have you on the show. Hopefully, one of these days, have you and your beautiful lady on. So, let's go ahead and get started, y'all. All right. I also have a surprise segment that I'm bringing back. I was watching one of my old episodes, from 4 years ago, and I forgot that I used to do this segment, so I'm thinking about bringing it back. We'll see. See how everybody likes it. Y'all let me know in the chat. All right. So, pull up all my graphics. Come on. All right. So, week 2 in review goes as follows. Now, this week, I actually got 5 right, 3 wrong. All of my wrongs are indicated in the red-orange color, and all of my rights are in green. My original picks are in gold. So, Albuquerque wins over the Washington Trident, 37-10. I was right about that one. Charleston Predators wins over the Bossier City Steamers. I was wrong about this one, 27-24. OKC gets the victory over Minnesota. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little surprised about that. I was wrong, 37-34. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, OKC. Do your thing, honey. Arizona wins narrowly. Woo, when I say narrowly, oh my God. Narrowly over the Lexington Miners, 34-30. Was right about that game. Chicago Warriors took on the DC Dragons, where DC won 9-3 in that the defense-heavy game. They were only limited to field goals in that game. The Houston Headhunters took on the Queen City Corsairs and did dominating damage, 45-9. I was right about that game. LA Lakers took on the Florida Storm. Well, LA went on to win 34-14. I was wrong about that one. LA said they was turning over a new leaf, and it looks like they are well on their way to do it. Congratulations. And lastly, the Detroit Maulers wins over the Pittsburgh River Hogs, 16-13. I was right about this game. So, I've been doing these picks for a while now. It's always a 50-50 chance, but sometimes you notice what teams like to do. And then if you know a little bit about their opponent and what they like to do, you can kind of make an educated guess, as to who's going to win. So I cannot include week 1 because I didn't make any selections. I didn't have a show. So I can't just say I don't think it's right for me to do that. So I'm just going to start off with week 2 being 5 right and 3 wrong. Looks like I got some comments in the chat. I'm going to acknowledge. Justin, I'm free next week. Ashley, so put me down for that. I got you. Alex Lex, get your popcorn ready, people. Yes, Alex. Got some explaining to do. Okay? Grant, awesome win. And Ellie, thanks for the love, AJ. Always, baby. I got you. All right. So, week 3. All of my picks are indicated with stars this time. So we're going to start things off on Saturday. No Friday games. Just everybody can take a little breather on that day. Saturday, July 26th, though, we have at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, the Matt Wilson kickoff show with Mike Daggs. And, oh, my gosh, he's going to kill me. Oh, Gerald. Oh, God, Mike and Gerald. I was just getting ready to mess that all up. And after that, at 6:30 p.m., we have the 0-1 Mexico City Aztecs against the 0-1 Baltimore Vultures. I have never, out of the years I've been here, I've been here since 2018, and I have never seen these two teams, with a rough start like this. So I'm choosing Mexico to win this game. I know it's going to be a home game for Baltimore. I typically would choose Baltimore, but I feel like Mexico City is going to eke this one out. Maybe by a field goal. It's definitely going to be a one-score game, I think. 6:45 on July the 26th, the 1-1 Detroit Maulers will be taking on the 1-0 I don't want to Clean City. Jeez, OKC Renegades. That's going to be a good game to watch. I know that OKC had a great performance last week. I just think Detroit is going to have those pieces that they need to be able to do a little bit better. So we'll see. We'll see again. 50-50 chance, y'all. Don't get mad. Just prove it on the field. Saturday at 9 p.m., Houston Headhunters will be taking on the Fort Worth Toros. Fort Worth is looking for their first win, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised about them too. I am going to give Houston the advantage on this one. I do like how Houston has been playing. They seem like they're a more sure-footed team versus Fort Worth, so we'll see how it works out. And then at 9:15 p.m. Eastern, the 1-0 Vancouver Legion will be taking on the 2-0 Arizona Scorpions at home. And of course, I am going for the Arizona Scorpions to win. But this team, we cannot make the same. Let me clear this up for a second. Hold on. What we can't do is make the same mistakes that we made last week. I cannot turn the ball over 5 times. I cannot get sacked 4 times. And we still win the game like that. You know what I mean? Especially not against Vancouver. They just put up 41 points on their last opponent. So we have to be a lot more careful. I know Eddie got us. So back to the picks. Sunday, July 27th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the 2-0 Albuquerque Adams will be going against the Denver Night Wings, sitting at 1 game win. I'm going with Albuquerque. I just love the momentum that they have right now. They seem like an unstoppable force. So we're going to see about that. But I got Albuquerque winning this game. Sunday, July 27th at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, Carolina searching for their first win against Pittsburgh, also searching for their first win. I'm giving the edge over to Carolina. I did like the way that they played week 1 and week 2. I just think it was just circumstances. Pittsburgh, they showed glimpses of brilliance. They did win, I think did they win week 1? I don't even have the information. I'm sorry. They do have their moments where they show glimpses of brilliance, and I'm just not sure if it's just going to be against the Carolina Skyhawks. So I'm going with Carolina on this one. Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, the Sin City Samurai 0-1 will be taking on the Bossier City Steamers, still looking for their first win as well. I'm going to give the edge because it is a home game to Bossier City, but do not sleep on Sin City. And lastly, I'm going. Oh, wait a minute. Let me move this out the way, because I think there's something else. Oh, it wasn't. All right, wait. And there is no Monday night game either. So last game will be 9:15 p.m. Eastern on July 27th, where the 2-0 Charleston Predators will be taking on the 1-1 Florida Storm. Kind of unusual for Florida as well, but when you have these pieces that, have been a staple for the team, like their quarterback that just, retires, you can take a hit a little bit, but I'm still going with Florida to win that game. All right. Get this out of my way. Now, as I alluded to, well, before I mention that, if you were interested, all of my radio listeners, if this is your first time actually watching my show, welcome. Glad you're here. But if you want to see these games and you want to get more information about us, see the rosters, get player bios, all of that, visit our website at simfl.net and VPN on the VPN network on YouTube. So used to be the Simulation Football League's YouTube page, but it's called VPN now, just in case that was confusing for anybody. All right, let me go visit the comments before I get ready to bring up my my guest, Grant Hardaway. Fantastic slate of games this upcoming week. Slate of games, absolutely. It's going to be great games to watch. Go Pittsburgh, Detroit, and with DJ Kilgannon checking in. What's up, DJ? Good to see you, sweetheart. All right, so I alluded to before I bring up my guests, because I'm sure they're probably going to have something to say about this when I do bring them up, right? So I'm bringing back my SFL chat around the water cooler. And so usually this kind of encompasses different things that are happening. So what are things that people are talking about within the Discord server, or maybe just some kind of something that's on my mind that I just don't understand. And I'm looking for answers either from my guests or even from the chat. Y'all can get. So I'm here to ruin some of your appetites today. I decided to do some food facts, and of course, I'm going to be asking my guests about this. But I just want to know if y'all knew about this, because some of this stuff I had no clue about. All right. White chocolate is made from cocoa butter, sugar, and milk solids, but does not contain cocoa solids, which essentially is true chocolate. So, are we eating like sugar butter? Is that what it is? Because it's not chocolate. And I love it. I love that sugar butter, honey. I guess we're going to have to. The world's hottest chili. Let me show you guys. This is Miss Pepper X right here, honey. Now, I will not be brave enough to try this. I just don't like. I love spicy foods, but not that much. Pepper X has recently taken the title of the world's highest chili pepper, surpassing the Carolina Reaper. So I want to know in the chat. I want to know from my guests. Would you be brave enough to take a bite of the world's hottest pepper? Now, I've seen pepper extracts. I've seen scorpion peppers. But if this takes the cake, I have no desire for it, dear. You can have it. Food additives. Now, this might mess with some people. So everybody loves, well, not everybody, but a lot of people love ranch, right? All right. Well, some foods like ranch dressing and coffee creamer can contain titanium dioxide, a substance also found in paint, plastic, and sunscreen. So eat up, y'all. I guess we could say it's multi-purpose. You run out of paint, you can just go ahead and put some ranch on your wall. Hey, you out there at the beach, you burning up, just rub a little ranch on you, I guess. All right, this is another one. Beetles in candy. All right, you see my little friends right here? These are called red beetles. Guess where they're found, y'all? And some of your candy that you love. The red food dye used in some candies like Skittles, and also red M&Ms too, is made from boiled female cocoreno. I know that's probably not the pronunciation. If somebody knows how to pronounce that, please let me know. Cocoreno insects like this. My little friends right here, red beetles. So the next time you're snacking on some Skittles or some red M&Ms or maybe some red vines, just know that these little babies might be in it. But then again, I think I'd probably rather have crushed beetles than red 40. You know what I mean? At least your body can digest beetles. It's all in how you look at it. Raw oysters are alive. So I used to work at a seafood spot, and we would sell out of oysters like it was hotcakes. They put the lemon on it. Some people eat it raw, just like this. Take it, slurp it down. Apparently, you're not supposed to swallow. You're not supposed to chew them. You're supposed to just swallow it. I never could understand why would you buy something that you just supposed to swallow if it's not Jell-O. But okay. But what I forgot about was that when you eat raw oysters, they're actually alive and they're moving. So you have to make sure you chew them well. One of my friends had one, and she said that when she bit down into it, which you're not supposed to bite into it, but she decided to, there was something like seawater that kind of gushed in her mouth, and it moved. It started jumping in her mouth. So I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on that. And last but not least, honey. Did you know about my good friend honey over here? I love using honey for everything. Honey's high sugar content and low water activity makes it virtually impossible for it to spoil. So the ultimate MRE, people, I'd rather have this other than the other MREs I was trying, honey, because some of that was like Play-Doh. I lost my breath eating some of it, but I'd rather have this. At least it's natural. Looks like I got a whole bunch of comments. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to play these comments while I'm getting our guests up for our next segment, because I don't want to hold them up any longer. I'm going to play a little song and run your comments across the screen, okay? Give me 1 second. Something kind of short. Okay. Here we go, y'all. See y'all in a bit.
Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping what I saw for sure. Brand new world, that's just for me and my boy. Keep secure, 4x4. G6 sleep up on my hands. I'm no friend. Pay for keys, can't pay for saving me. In the back when the windows turn. Yeah, cause they know too much. Yeah, they know too much. Tryna come take from me. And my 40 they on me. They ain't even thought this far. This ain't no question, yeah. Just like I know. Made room for you. You got me off for thought. You had no place to trust. Just like you told. Just like we roll. Now we would barely trust. Now there's no saving us. Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping what I saw for sure. Brand new world, that's just for me and my ball. Keep secure, 4x4. G6 sleep up on my hands. I'm no friend. Pay for keys, can't pay for 10. Piece of my, took some time.
All right, y'all. We are back. DJ asked, did I miss anything before the food segment? You just missed my picks. And you missed my quick fire week 2. But did it really quick because, Eddie and them, they did a really good job of going over everything yesterday, and I don't want to bore anyone. So let me go ahead and remove this banner and bring up my guests for the evening. Hold on. See, I'm still getting used to this, y'all, this live thing. Normally, my stuff is usually recorded, for those that didn't know. I used to record all of my stuff and then just kind of cut it myself. But listening to Eddie, he was like, oh, you should go ahead and do live. All you have to do is just push a button and everything is going to be all right. And I'm like, huh, it is, but it's not. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Yo.
It's good.
Hey, man. Always good seeing you both. I have Mr. Jason Peace over here from the Houston Headhunters, the defensive coordinator and their middle linebacker, as well as Mr. Andrew Gibson from the Detroit Maulers, their halfback. Checking in. Let me see if I can get this out the way, because I think your names will show up if I move this, so you don't have to. People will know who they're looking at. Yes. All right. Wonderful. So, fellas, welcome back to the show. Really, really, really appreciate you for being here. Ellie says, "What's up, Gibson?"
I see you, Ellie. I see you.
All right, y'all. So let's start. All right. So first question I'm going to shoot it to will be Andrew. So what are your thoughts on your week 2 matchup against Pittsburgh, where you had your touchdown in this game, 13-6 victory?
For the sake of just me and the offense, one thing I was talking with you after the game. I was like, I'm gonna need an ice bath after this game, because I did not expect like a 20 carry game. It just the ratio of runs just seemed way off to me. Like I was telling Flowers, our quarterback, like, hey, dude, don't be afraid to pass the ball like once in a while. Like, we were running the ball like every other play, and every pass play we were running ended up being a Flowers QB scramble for like 5 or 6 yards. So while I was happy that we got the touchdown, I'm like, dude, there's no reason to be running the ball this much. I almost felt like I was running my legs off.
Well, right? You over there needing oxygen on the sideline?
shout out to my boy Sean Parent. He absolutely carried the defense. Like 4 sacks. That's insane. I'll give respect for that. So the defense showed up really well, but I think the play calling could have been a little more balanced, I'd say.
I'm sure they're working on that in the but you better be glad to get these Panther stats while you can, honey, because then you'll be sitting out wondering what happened.
Yep.
So, Jason.
Yo.
With two games played so far into the season and 2 very different outcomes for those games, what do you feel Houston will need to do to win consistently?
I mean, I don't know. I've heard this a couple times. I don't think they were really big different outcomes. I mean, I think we played a hell of a game in Washington. I mean, that's a great team. And on the road, I mean, we were up 17-10, and then we just couldn't get anything going in the second half. So, I mean, last season, and we've had to go to their house back-to-back years. But last season, they whooped us. They took us behind the woodshed and whooped us. So to go in there this time and be up at the half and have a 9-point game, I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, you're going to lose some games on the road to very good teams, and make no doubt about it, that team will be at the top again. I mean, they're well coached. The talent's there. They brought everybody back. So I don't know why. I don't know. They beat us, and then the Queen City game, we just had everything clicking, and they did, and man, it was just our night. And the defense it's just one of those nights where everything that you put in the defensive game plan just worked. I think it was halfway through the second quarter they had negative yards, total yards. So I was pretty proud of that moment. We're gonna get to something about that a little bit later, but yeah, pretty proud of it. But Ryan's he's working. I've been talking to Ryan all day. I'm trying to kind of give him some pointers and help him out. I love those guys over there. I've known Ryan since the minor league days. So it's 2 different outcomes on the scoreboard, but we played one really, really good team tough, and then we played one team that's learning the ropes and did what we should have done.
Love it. So, Andrew, did the week 1 loss to Queen City, 21-17, light a fire under the coaching staff to help them focus up for week 2 and for week 3 upcoming?
Well, I'll tell you one person it definitely did fire up, and Ellie in chat, you can definitely agree with me on this. It fired up our coach JW like unbelievable. To be honest, I didn't really see the week 2 game because I was at work, but I managed to catch like the last play or 2 because I was like just getting off work. And when I saw us get robbed on that spike attempt toward the end of the game, I was like, dude, this has got to fire JW up. Like, yeah, Ellie, exactly. It fired JW up so much that he was just like, oh my. He was not happy, and he game planned with our I think our defensive coach Rashad. He talked to Casper Haddock about it, and I think those 2 have been hard in the. I've been seeing those 2 in VC. They've been working hard in the lab, just trying to figure out what the heck went wrong, and like, I'm telling you, JW's the kind of dude, from what I'm learning, that he doesn't take a loss lightly. He will spend hours in the lab just working on it, and even if he has like a sick day, he'll just be working in the lab, just constantly trying to perfect the game plan. And I respect that in JW, but there's players like me and Ellie that are like, dude, you gotta chill out. Like, if you're sick, you can't be pushing yourself that much. But yeah, he's working hard in the lab, man. So I like where this. I like JW, but sometimes he needs to find a fine line between knowing when you've done all you can and knowing when there's more to be done.
Yeah, just gotta take a chill pill, man. You may have to smoke
exactly.
something, baby.
But yeah, it definitely.
Jason,
week 1 loss definitely fired us up.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Jason, with week 3's opponent being Fort Worth Toros, and they're struggling right now, but they can surprise you at any moment. What are some things that you plan to watch out for against this Fort Worth Toros team to secure your road victory for week 3?
Man, I don't know. They don't struggle against us for some reason. They've had our number, so I mean, I don't want to beat them. I mean, they've had our number three games in a row now, and it's like one of those games where we're the fourth quarter, it's right there, and then it'll be like pick six, onside kick return, and it's like next thing you know, it's a 21-point game. But no, they've had our number, man. Hacker's hard to stop. Price is good. They're good. Even though their roster doesn't look like what it normally would look like, it's still a well-coached team. And, we're going to go in and give it everything we got. But for whatever reason, man, when I see that daggum team, they just something happens. Something happens. Always something happens. So, we're going to put everybody in the best position we can. And man, I hope we get them this time. God, I want to beat them.
Hey,
there's some teams.
I picked y'all to win.
Just throw your head for a loop.
They do, man. And it's just like, I don't know. I think it was like 3 games ago was like that, where it was like, it might have been when Bruin was there. Yeah, might have been. But it was like back-to-back pick sixes, like on 2 passes. And it's like, man, why? I mean, I don't know if they got a magic button. If you're playing video games where they say you're, what do they call it? What do they call a little box that you hit to mess up the video game? Lag switching it. It's like, it's almost like they're lag switching the game or something, but I know they ain't. But it's like, man, how can y'all have like everything line up to beat us every game? But they do.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to, we're going to borrow an LA thing and change the narrative this week, hopefully.
I respect it.
Y'all talk them up. AW is in the building. Andrew, what did you do?
JW, I'll tell you about it later. Man. Don't worry about it.
Mr. Jackson, KJ, what's going on, man? Good to hear. Good to see you, sweetheart. All right, man. So, keeping with Houston for a second, you guys had a great offseason, but I want to know from you, how are your offseason picks working out for you with just the 2 games that you guys played, seeing them in action? We had some people to replace. I mean, Slap's hard to replace. Chris wanted to go back to DC, and that's my brother. I messaged him today. I love that dude, but he wanted to go back to DC, back where he was at. And man, we're still going to be friends until we line up across the field, and we lost some talent, we lost Prime, but look at this right now. Now it's a 100-yard gap, but you know who's number 2 in rushing right now? Tino Sosa. You know who is tied for the league in touchdowns right now? Baloo Scott. You know who's tied for the league in sacks? Juan, Mississippi. And I told Juan this like a year ago. I was like, dude, we and him started talking. I was like, when I came into the league, you were the guy I wanted to be. So now I get to play with Juan, Mississippi. Like really, when I first came in and I was in the minors, I was like, I'm gonna be Juan, Mississippi. So and he's I think he's up there for tackles for loss. Our rookies are shining. Don Rohr just had 2 sacks, including a forced fumble. Bonnet's got his first touchdown. He's approaching, I think, 100 yards receiving. I think he's second in rookies in receiving. So no, Henry is all in the locker room. I gotta get that guy. He's right there in the position. It's almost like they're afraid to throw his way. But I can't wait for him to go off. I mean, he goes off in Sims. But no, every addition that we had in the first 2 games, you can see the impact. It was like 4 of them in the first game, and then it was another 4 in the second game. So maybe in Fort Worth, everybody's going to shine, on top of the guys that are doing things that they always do, the Corkies and all of them. But no, and they've came into the locker room. I mean, it's awesome. I hated to see Slap go. I hated to see Chris go. I hated to see Prime go. I hate to see CJ go. But, people got to spread their wings. But I will say one thing about Damon, man. That dude is a recruiting fool. Like, he knows pretty quick. Like, all right, I don't think this person's coming back. We need to start shopping. And I was glad to be able to bring in 2 Philadelphia Cougars as rookies and tell them, like, listen, you're going to be a part of the game plan, especially when you're talking about a wide receiver for a rookie coming in. I said, dude, trust me. I said, you will get targets. You will be part of the game plan. And here he is. I think he's got more catches than DR Sim does. So, and I told Don, I said, Don, you are going to be a beast. Like, I think those 2 have rookie of the year on both sides of the ball opportunities, especially Don. Dude, Don's gonna set some records, man. That dude is a beast. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love everything we brought in. Turnover. It's retention is awesome, and retention is great, and that shows you're a great organization. But sometimes some turnover also can be exciting. So it's working out so far. We'll see how it goes. Exactly. Exactly. It could be the breath of fresh air that you need to
Mhm.
move and shake things. So I get that. So Andrew, next opponent, OKC, and people are selecting OKC to win this game. So what must Detroit do to win and shoot down this narrative?
I think one thing's for sure. One thing's for sure out of last week, definitely one, pass the ball more. But two, I think it's it comes down to the defense. I mean, I I can only carry this team so much. I'll just say that. But I think overall, I would say the defense just needs to keep doing what they're doing. Like, I mean, obviously, coming from the Canton Sin City days, I'm basically just numb to it at this point. I'm numb to being doubted. Like, every time I've been here, AJ, I'm pretty sure you doubted me in the in the week picks. Like, I'm used to it at this point. Like, I'm fine with it.
Wait, hold on. Let me do it.
I know it's not out of hate, but I'm just saying. But I think overall to win, I think we just need to keep doing. I think we just need to. I think it just comes down to the defense and Flowers being able to get the passing game going. I mean, obviously the running's got to be there, but I think we have a good shot to beat OKC as long as we just keep doing what we're doing. Like, we looked good last week. We just need to keep it going. That's what I say.
This is kind of these next two questions are about your tenure here, just being a player. While you were playing for Canton, you participated in all three playoffs and beyond for all 3 seasons that you were there, right? Since you moved on, you haven't been back there just yet. So does this frustrate you as a player? I'm sorry, let me read that again. Does that frustrate you as a player that has tasted that excitement and you have not been back just yet?
I think, to be honest, not really, because it's kind of given me
Andrew?
something to look forward to. Like, obviously, I enjoyed it in Canton/Sin City, but it gives me something to more or less work for. Like, it gives me a taste of, like, how the playoffs were. Even though I may not have made much of a difference, it kind of just gave me something to just picture, like, okay, here's what this feeling's like. Now go out there and earn it. So it basically made me feel like, I mean, I don't want to say I almost felt like I didn't have it too easy, but it more or less gave me like, okay, here's the other side of the coin. Let's work to make sure.
Okay. Gotcha. Shooting over to Jason. Tell us about your experience being both the player and the defensive coordinator for Houston.
It's been fun. You know, the first time I tried it was rough because I didn't know what I was doing and I thought I did. So I had to kind of, and this was back at APF. So I had to kind of hand the reins back over to Damon and step away because I was helping us to a losing streak. And then I was like, man, you need to like get more involved. And he took us on a 5-game winning streak. I said, all right, it ain't broke. I ain't gonna fix it. We'll reset this the next season. So then he came in at the beginning of the end of season 23, I think. And I think we had like 3 games left. And he's like, man, I need help with the defense. And I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I will do the defense, but don't touch one of my plays. I said, I'm gonna do the defense. I said, but I would like to run the defense because if you're changing it, then I can't learn. And respect to Damon, he did it. We won those 3 games. He said, all right, you can do this. And the last 2 seasons, even when he says, you really want to run that? Yep. He's like, all right, we'll run it. And there's times where I've messed up bad. But he also knows the next morning I'm finding out what I did wrong. and saying, all right, I found out what it was. I don't know why I put that dumb play in there. Live and learn, never do it again. And he's like, all right, that's what you got to do. So,
He makes you earn your keep, it sounds like.
He does. I mean, but I think it's pretty amazing that he was like, all right, he honored what we said, instead of like, because I'm in the coach's channel, so he don't go in and change anything. He runs it. And there's times where he's like, he'll ask me about something. I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and take that out. But he's not. I'm not going to spend a week working on a playbook, give it to him, and then come game day, there's 4 plays and every formation changed. He ain't going to do that to me. He's going to run. We're going to run what we brung. So that part of it's been amazing. As a player, I love it. I mean, I love players. I love hanging out. I interact with people as much as I can. But I want to say something real quick. We're going to step outside and something real quick. This whole power ranking thing that was going on over in the streets today, I don't care a rat's booty about what y'all say about the power rankings. I respect the people that put effort into it. But if you have a problem and you just don't like us and you can't respect the craft of what we just did in that last game, then I ain't got no time for you, no respect for you. That's a you problem. So if I say something about it and then you want to post, because there was one person on there that had us ranked below Queen City and it was Swole, and it hurt to my core because I want to earn that man's respect. That is my coach when I was at the Adams, and he knows I talked to him. I learned a lot from him, and I do care about earning his respect. And I care about earning the respect of people that take the time to care about what they're doing. Like Eddie, if I didn't play for Houston, I would go to Albuquerque. If I didn't play for Albuquerque, I'd go play for Eddie. And I don't care if Eddie was the worst coach in the league. That dude is a guy that will make you want to run through walls for him. And that's how I was when I coached basketball. My players would run through walls for me. And that's enough. That's enough for me right there. So, and there's a lot of people I respect in this league. But if you're on that power rankings list and you cannot respect my time and effort in that craft and that defensive performance we just did enough to get outside your own self to say, yeah, Houston's probably better than Queen City, then don't come crying at me when I say that's dumb. All right? That's all I got to say. And don't come out and apologize to me because I messaged Swole directly. Those other cats, I don't know them, don't care about them, probably won't ever talk to them. I messaged Swole, and I said, Swole, man, what'd I do to you? And he said, oh, they messed up. He messaged, said, fix my rankings because I don't want to look stupid. So apologize to Swole. Don't come in and have to do some snide remark and apologize to me because I didn't need to apologize. I don't care about your ranking. Go read what I wrote about that ranking and what I would do with it. I'm done. Respect me. I respect you.
Hey,
I have not enjoyed hardly any. I'll tell you this. I have not enjoyed hardly any interaction with Fump, but I respect the hell out of what he does. I respect that organization. I respect on what they do on the field, and I have no embarrassment about losing to that team. I don't have to like you, but I can respect what you do, and I can give you your props. If
say what you got to say. I respect it.
I'm done. I've been waiting to get that one out. I ain't gonna type that crap in that streets. I knew I was coming on because this all happened before I got on here. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out now, so I ain't got to type and get the keyboard warriors going.
Say what you got to say. I respect it.
I'm done. I'm gonna take a drink of my Dr. Pepper and call it a day.
Hey,
sorry, Ashley. I didn't mean to bombard you.
As content creators, no, you're fine. You're totally fine. You're totally fine.
Right.
As content creators, though, you do have people that will try to get under your skin and try to say things about your team, about you, about whatever.
That's fine.
To throw you off. Sometimes you don't respond. Sometimes you don't respond, right? But there are times where you need to, especially being the leader of an organization. You can just do it one time and make your point across, and then that's it. So I respect it. I respect you getting your voice out there and you saying what was on your mind. So thank you for that. Another question for you, though, is how do you balance SFL duties and your real life responsibilities, like being with your wife?
I have
your job.
Daisy's a wonderful wife. She's amazing. I get away with a lot. We're on the couch. She's on my right side. My laptop's on my left side. And when she says, "All right, I want to watch a movie. It's time to close that." Close it. So I get a pretty long leash. I'm probably on my 10th or 11th sim today, along with doing playbooks, along with messing around with stuff, along with talking to Damon. So, and I don't do that like every day. Like, I work at it, but I can hang out with her and also have my laptop sitting there because I bought a gaming laptop, so wasn't tied to a desk. so I don't have to go to another room. We're together. We're watching a show. If it's an important show, we go blip, and we close it. And that's pretty much it. It's really, I'm blessed.
I respect that.
Hey,
Me too. You have to, because look at Andy any moment. Like, hey, honey, this is it. This is it.
Yeah,
and you got it
exactly.
So
yeah.
Sorry.
She didn't know she was in the background.
So I have one more individual.
Surprise!
Is she coming on?
No, man. We had a rough
Is
day
she coming
yesterday.
on?
No, we had a rough day yesterday.
Okay.
My front differential went out in my Durango. I was 2 hours from home. And so we ended up having we went hard in the paint last night. We said, all right, you know what? This went wrong today. This went wrong today. This went wrong today. What do you want to do? We said we're going to do that. It wasn't Friday, but we pretended it was, and we just went hard in the paint. So no, she just got out of the shower. She ain't coming on.
Call it quits. Focus on the next day.
Right.
No worries.
Just move on.
That's why I'm coughing so much.
Listen, no worries, because I'll have a couple show, so y'all can come on Bonnie and Clyde edition.
We'll do
and
that.
I'd love to have you on then.
Yeah, Daisy is real. She is real. She knows her
one
team.
more question for Andrew. Then I have one more. Just in case, if anybody was wondering.
Yeah.
Alex, I see you back there, dear. I'm gonna bring you up in a few minutes. Okay. All right. So, Andrew, while playing for you started your career as a wide receiver, but now you are a halfback going on 2 seasons. Was that a good move for you in hindsight?
Overall, I think it was a solid move. I just toward the end of my wide receiver tenure in Canton, I was approached by I think it was Casper. But then, like, as I was in the process of switching over to Indianapolis, now Detroit, I thought to myself, I think it was JW approached me and said, hey, we may not be able to guarantee you a spot as wide receiver 1 like we initially had thought. So I was like, okay. And he offered me a halfback position. He's like, looking at your build, you're more built to be a running back. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense, because it's like, I didn't want to get stuck as a wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 3 for the rest of my career. And 2, I just thought being a running back would like open more doors, I guess. Like, it would give me more of an opportunity to not only see the field, but to rather like be a leader and just give me more opportunities. So I think it was a good move. The only downside is I don't get to have exciting punt returns anymore, but overall, I think it was a good move, just looking back, because it's opened more doors for me just to see the field that deep down I kind of would like to see. So,
I mean, you had like what, 20 plus carries last game?
Something like
so you touching the ball.
Yeah. JW just said, Andrew, about the punt returns. Oh God, JW,
right.
What are you planning? What is this man planning?
Here we go. There you go.
Okay.
Ain't no telling what happened.
Bring it. Let's go.
Last question for you guys. And this is for both of you. I want to know, what are your goals for the next 2 years, SFL wise and real life? And I'll start with you first, Andrew, on this one.
For the SFL, I guess I'll start with that first. For the SFL, kind of just see where it takes me. Like, I do want to go to the convention, like, at least maybe once the next 2 years, if it's at least close to me, and I don't have to spend like a fortune on plane tickets. I would love to do that at least once. I would at least like to meet some of my teammates as well, like IRL. That'd be kind of cool. But as for real life, I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. I mean, I'm taking some college classes right now, but I think the overall, I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think as of right now, it's just like focus on college and then just figure out what you want to do going from there. Like, I'm only through a year of college, so I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I'll just be honest with you, Ash. I'm just being honest. Still trying to figure out what I kind of want to do.
Nothing wrong with that. Take your time. You have your whole life. I promise you. You're good. Jason, what about you, Danny?
I mean, SFL wise, I guess I can mark being the number 1 ranked power ranked team off the list. So we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. That ain't gonna happen. Other than that, you know, a championship's always on the mind. But you know, I like me personally on the defensive side of the ball, I want to put as many all-stars on that all-star team this season as we can get. You know, I love it when like Juan messages like, man, thank you. I've been begging people to send me on the pass rush since I got in this league. And we sent him. So, you know, I want to see the players shine. You know, I want to see, you know, like Henry came in and he's like, man, season no playoffs and no all-star game. I said, man, we're going to get you one or the other. So, you know, I really want to see these players shine. I want to see them like do well, you know, and, you know, it doesn't hurt when you get to make an all-star team. I don't know if that pick streak of 8 picks in a season is going to come around again, but we might do some different things this season with Jason Peace. So, and then personally, my oldest is a senior this year in high school. We are literally in the process of selling damn near everything we own. We are getting a toy hauler. We are going to put a pool table in the back of it, and me and Daisy are going to hop in that thing and just ride. And we're going to ride for about a year and a half, and just go run. We'll make a convention, either the next one or the one after. But we'll make sure to put that on the list. But I'm gonna go see all these places around the United States that I ain't seen yet. You know, I've been a little bit on the West Coast. I've been all up and down the East Coast, but I ain't seen like up around Wyoming and all that. Yeah, I've never been to Alaska, but literally, like, if you see my house right now, because we just moved in this, and we moved from like a big house to a smaller house, so I ain't got room for it anyway. So I told her, I was like, man, why are we hauling this stuff around? Why do I have a daggum $700 antique door sitting over there leaning against the wall? So nope, Facebook Marketplace. All right, we are selling everything. And I said, well, you get 3 suitcases. I need 1. And like the toy hauler, it has a big area in the back where you can like put a car in there if you want to. But we're gonna put a pool table back there and put our dartboard up there, because that's pretty much what we do. We play pool, we play darts. If we go out, we're going someplace where we can play pool and darts. So I'm gonna be on the road. That's what we're gonna be doing. That's the next 2-year plan.
Hey man.
Now that you bring it up, I would like a title to my my SFL collection. I would say that add that to my goal list.
There you go.
Yeah, because you've been in the playoffs. You just gonna add this.
I've been there, but just haven't finished the job yet.
Yes, sir.
So.
I feel you. Well, gentlemen, and hey, Jason, make sure you take pictures throughout that whole experience and just put them in the community channel so we can.
Oh, sure. I mean, we're a good year away from doing it, but we are already looking at the haulers and stuff like that, trying to find a good deal on one. But like, we're selling her car, I'm selling my car, so I can get a truck that pulls it. We're gonna be 1 vehicle, 1 toy hauler, 2 people, 2 cats, and maybe a partridge in the back. I don't know. But we're gonna have a good time.
And a pear tree. I love it, baby.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, catching up. Please, y'all come back whenever you want to. I would love to have you again, but I'm gonna go ahead and play a little 2-minute interlude and then bring Alex up for his segment. But guys, thank you again. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See y'all down the line. Good luck unless you're playing us. All right. All right, guys. Be back in 2 minutes.
I'm scared to leave you, but I know I need to. I know I need to. I'm scared to leave you, but I know I need to. I know I need to. I know I need to. I need to set you free. Move on with your life, just let you be. Holding hands in the back of an SUV. Ain't nobody else like an SUV for you. I believe for you. I'm on 10, fuck that, 15 for you. I love you, but I love my freedom too. I know what I must do, but I'm really just scared to leave you. But I know I need to. I know I need to. I know I need to. I need to set you free. Move on with your life, just let you be. Holding hands in the back of an SUV. And ain't nobody else like an SUV for you. I believe for you. I'm on 10, fuck that, 15 for you. I love you, but I love my freedom too. I know what I must do, but I'm really just scared to leave. I wanna be alone more than ever. Less free time, more endeavors. Less romance, more get cheddar. Some say both, I'm more instead of. We've been better. I can't afford any more vendettas. Some feed off it, I'm more get fed up. Some sheep-esque, I'm more trendsetter. I can't adore any more antennas. I'm overly in tune, I'm overstimulated. I'm over me and you, I'm overeating too. I'm drinking again, I'm outside the house. I'm linking with friends, you found me at the end of peak innocence. My love is dried up like ink in this pen. And now that I'm thinking again, I'm not scared to leave you. Cause I know I need to. I know I need to. I know I need to. I'm not scared to leave you, cause I know I need to. I know I need to. I know I need to. I need to set you free.
All right, SFL Nation, and we are back. Okay, we're back. Got some latency issues, but I think it's good now. Back with Mr. Alex West, Commissioner of the SFLM. What is going on, man?
Yeah, big man here. And actually, my apologies if the sound is garbage and if I end up blipping internet-wise. I am currently on the road on I-35 headed southbound from Oklahoma to Texas. So anyone who knows that drive knows that the road is terrible, noisy, full of construction, and it's all very hilly terrain. So sometimes I might lose signal for a second. So apologies in advance. I try to be pretty consistent, but this is one of those moments where I'm aware of what's happening, even though I've been gone for a week, over a week from my home. I knew things were happening, and when you contacted me saying that you wanted me on to help talk about it, I couldn't have agreed more, and that's why I'm here. So anyone who can't really understand what I'm saying, I apologize in advance. I don't even know how I sound. How am I sounding to you, Ash?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
You sound like
you're
in the car, but
I am indeed. Noisy as can be, but we're making it. So, yeah, I'm here. Let's get into it. No, let's not waste any time.
Yep, got it. So, what happened with the dev team announcement? Because teams were not notified in time in order to, make sure that their players were in position to, get what they needed. And it did cause a backlash. The player, it was announced, but it wasn't announced in where it would normally be in league content channel. It could have been in the league alerts channel. So I just want to know what happened there.
So, first and foremost, this goes back to an idiom of, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, did it make a sound? Because there was a news article posted on the SFL.net website, and it was posted on July 5th. That contained news about the dev team and the entire listing of everyone who was on it. Had a graphic and a full breakdown of every single player that was a dev team player in the pros, and it even included, for handy reference, the UDFA players that have just joined the league that are in that dev league economy now. So it happened. And as an added bonus, it happened within 1 week of the actual roster file being made available to the SFL at large. So my hat's off to Miles and to JW for their immediate hitting the gas on that and finding out and getting the parameters set up as I directed, which was, to the most part, keeping to the old method of bottom 10% by overall, with the added wrinkle of bottom 5% by position grouping, if you weren't already in that bottom 10%, and the UEFA mixer. So, like, this is new. That article was out there, and it was released within 1 week. I heavily pushed back on the idea that I didn't make an announcement. Now, is it not where people were looking for it? Sure, I understand. I hear that. But you know what else didn't happen? No one came asking me about it. I didn't get a DM from anyone saying, hey, is there a dev team list? I got one ping in a support staff channel asking for that list. And I was, in that moment, I was actively working on something else, my actual day job, which I have, my 9 to 5, really like 10 to 7, that pays my bills and lets me put a roof over my head. So I forwarded an Excel spreadsheet rather than that article, which I could have forwarded over. But all the same, the article was there. The news was out there. And if people wanted to see it, they only had to go find it or ask around. How do you not see what you need to be seeing and not message me about it? I can't fix what I don't know is wrong. And I didn't know that things were seriously getting a little bit confused and messed up until recently. And when I say recently, I mean, I didn't hear anything about the dev list not being made and out there from owners, even at the SFL convention. I was there. Other owners were there. Several owners were there. And I did not hear questions about where's the dev team list. I did not hear people asking me about that. Now, did I hear people say that I didn't see the dev list at first? Yeah. But I didn't have people actively asking me, hey, where is it? I still need it. Now, whenever it came up, I addressed it to the best of my ability. But I do not agree with the idea that because it wasn't in league content, it didn't happen. And that seems to be the stance that a number of people have taken. Now, I will add on to that. Actually, you know what? No, I won't, because I could rant and rave, and I'll be honest, I'm on the show, and Cameron Irvine would probably have advised me against being on the show because I am rather heated about this. And he would advise me to not be quite so heated about it, to maintain an even temper and to be professional about it. But I have eyes, I have ears, I watch highlights, I read articles. So, and I'm human. So to err is human, but here I'm going to be a little human. Go ahead with your next question, because I think I've answered, or if you have any follow-up to that, because I think I've answered it to the best of my ability. The article was up. People didn't see it. I didn't know people didn't know where it was until now, basically.
So I also when I was reading everything and when I was going through, like listening to the shows and listening to everyone, I was wondering if it was considered that you didn't know where it was supposed to go, because any major announcement, any major thing that's going to affect the entire league, such as a dev team list, such as things where owners and coaches are waiting for that information to arrive, is usually posted in league alerts, especially when it's a team, when it's a on a grand scope of things. It's usually in league alerts or some league content channel. And the argument there was that not everyone participates in general chat where it was posted, because of sometimes the toxicity that goes on in general chat, they would just not rather be a part of it. So if you weren't in general chat when it was posted, then of course it wasn't available. You didn't see it. You didn't know. But my follow-up question, because you may not even have this, right? Do you have permissions to add content creators like Ellie to lead content channels or to post on her behalf on the SFL website and then make those announcements so that in the future, when major announcements need to happen, that everyone knows and there is no debate?
So let me take you through what I do and don't have, and really on a timeline as well. My first request to get access to league content, period, which was not granted until about 2 hours ago, I believe. My first request was made June 19th to get access. That request did not go to Cameron Irvine, but it was still a request made. I made a follow-up request. I want to say about a couple of weeks after that, in late June, around June 28th or 29th. You can check the date. It's in the support staff channel. I actually asked for if there was anyone that could give those permissions to myself and Ellie, because I don't have permissions to give to anyone to anything that is not SFLN channel specific. I have the capability to create channels in that section of the Discord. I have the ability to grant permissions or take away permissions to see things in that Discord channel or in that section of the Discord only. I had no other permission. I could not give myself permission to post things in leaked content, or that article would have been there as soon as it was up. Now, as of about 2 hours ago, Ellie was in a meeting with Cameron Irvine, made him aware of the situation, that neither of us had permissions to post in that. And as I understand it, based on the fact that she actually posted an article probably about 15 minutes before and put it in that. That problem is officially resolved. So now I have the ability to do that, and so does she. But I can't grant other people access to that.
Okay. Because, people just, I think it's important to know the entire story. I think it's important to paint the entire picture so that everybody can get a clear understanding as to what happened, as to what you could do in that situation, and as to what you couldn't do. So there are players on the dev team that are veterans at the SFL, like Nick Varga. Is it fair for vets to also be on the dev team? And was this anticipated when the dev team was created?
So if it is fair or not is a question that the community at large would answer with a resounding no. And is a question that I, at the start of this entire dev process, answered with it hasn't been against the rules up until now, and I don't have the bandwidth to answer that question yet. The amount of work that went into just getting the first SFLN season under me off the ground was immense. And the amount of attention that it took from me to just keep the season going and keeping everything going was significant. I didn't have time to plan ahead. And what everyone may remember is that last season, there was no Dev League, not during the season, because, there were issues with the portal that have thankfully now been resolved. But I didn't even have the dev team on my radar because it was so far removed from being something I could actually control or affect beyond saying we will do something at the end of the year. Was I on higher up's case about it? Yeah, I was in Cam's ear about it. I was asking what the timeline was. I was asking what we could do. And the answer was the same. Not yet, not yet, not yet, until finally, yes, we have movement. But by the time we had movement, it's over. So I didn't have the ability to do any of what I would call the on-the-job learning and cutting my teeth and making mistakes for the dev team in my first season, because I frankly didn't have any real interaction with them. There was nothing for me to do. outside of list who would have been getting cheaper prices if things worked the way I wanted them to, and thus the list of people that I would be airdropping money to. And at the end of the season, I made good on those missed progressions with training camp. So to understand, so that's an answer of fairness. To answer fairness, no, but I didn't have time to deal with it. I only have so much bandwidth, mental energy, and ability to solve problems. And when you're building a plane in the air, you can't put engines on while you're also nailing the tail. You can't be in 3 places at once. And I was doing my best, but not everything got addressed. And in this instance, is it a little weird that a multi-season vet is on the dev team? Yeah. But it's also weird to me that his overall is 81, I believe, or at least it was at the start of the season. So do I know how that happened? No. Do I think that it's weird? Yeah. So there's some adjusted rules. There's actually been a workshop that's been happening in the SFLM Discord, that's for SFLM owners and staff, where we've been trying to steer the future of the SFLM and thus the Dev League. And for that has been a discussion that has been going on since June of what revisions are we going to be making. But I didn't want to throw those revisions out in the very first season that I actually had a Dev League up and running. There's only so many things that I wanted to try and stir and change at once, because when you change too many ingredients in a recipe, you get a completely different dish. And if you get a bad taste in your mouth, if you've changed too many things, it's hard to say where you went wrong. So
True.
So to use another metaphor, the wheels of justice may grind slowly, but they grind finely. And if you don't believe me, go read Ellie's article, because there are 7 rule changes that will be going into effect as of season 26 for the SFL and season 12 for the SFLM. There is not going to be anyone who has had a player in the APF era that is going to be eligible to be on the Dev League. There is not going to be anyone that is able to spend multiple seasons on the dev team. There is going to be an end to people just being super low overalls over and over and over again and getting handouts and helping hands from the league. We are not coddling people anymore. We are going to put a ladder for people to ascend to become talented contributors to their teams and to the SFL community as a whole, but we are not going to make it an escalator. You are going to have to climb yourself. 75% progression is going to be mandatory. If you fail to meet that, there is not going to be a dev team for you. If you dump salary or do a big salary cut to lower your overall, you are not going to be dev team eligible. I am not going to allow the dev team to become a loophole by which people stockpile cash, assets, salary, people who don't need help escalate themselves to a super high echelon. I am not here for people to game the system. I am here to serve the SFLM, the rookies that are joining the league and making their first steps as part of this community, and the people who did not have the opportunity to grow and get meaningful progression and were impacted negatively by the transition from the APF era to the 2K4 era after season 20, or starting in season 21. There is a disenfranchised class of players who did not have meaningful financial gain and did not have opportunity to meaningfully progress their players because the economy was in such a state that they had no room. The dev team was originally engineered to fix that, but it had its own holes. Cam couldn't fix them because he had enough going just running 2 leagues. And now I have an opportunity as the sole commissioner to start making corrections, making adjustments, fine-tuning things. But not everything happens overnight, and not everything happens as fast as people would like. I knew I was going to be unpopular. I told you this whenever I first came on your show, that I knew I was going to get hate. But the manner in which it's happened upsets me, frankly.
No, I mean, I get that. I understand the frustrations. I understand the frustrations on both sides, but it is about explaining. It is about, like, when we do have these events that occur, that you get out in front of it and that you try your best to nip it in the bud and try your best to explain your side of it. And that's it. Like, you're here right now when you could have been somewhere else. You could have acted like you didn't hear any of it. You could act like you didn't see any of it. You could have ignored it, but you're here now. So I appreciate you for being here, for answering the questions. I do have a few more for you.
Yep.
But I get that. Even in my position as being the director of compliance or community relations, I took a hit, as people like me. At the same time, I have a job to do. So if you think that I've changed just because I put a different hat on, then that's on you, because I never changed. I've been the same trusted person this whole time. When you guys wanted me to be the community ambassador 7-8 times in a row, now I'm just wearing a different hat and things change. But it is how you deal with it. It is about how you address the situation when it happens and take responsibility for it. So I appreciate you for doing so.
Sure.
There was community.
Take a moment. I will own that, yes, there could have been a communication posting in League Alerts. But when I initially took the job, one of the things that was communicated to me was how that was emergency immediate updates, and also not for where news articles should have been. Had I had a couple of DMs from owners confused and worried about where the dev team list was, I could have, in those instances, taken an instance and broke with tradition and posted the article myself in League Alerts and put a ping up about it. Or taken the list of dev team players, copied, pasted, and put it up there. Sure, I can own that. I can say there's room for improvement on my part. I can own that. Lesson learned. People don't see things if I don't put it there. And also, I need to make sure that I can actually ping owners, because I don't even have that permission still.
Right. Well, like I figured, like, that's why you take the time out and you talk to people and you unpack what's going on, because it was the narrative was one thing, but then when you find out that you just didn't have permissions, or you just simply just dropped the ball on something, people are able to forgive you once you explain what's happening. But just to kind of, because I know you're still traveling, I want to make sure you get home safely, and I want to kind of get you out of here. But there was a community question that was asked. And what happened to the rookie team choice announcements and rookie signings, like college football? What happened to them?
Frankly, almost all the rookies had already chosen their teams by the time that we actually got there. No rookie had their situation undecided by the time that I actually reached the point where we could start my original idea of a week-by-week signing day style show, as it were. And with how quickly that happened, I can't tell you how quickly that took the wind out of my sails. It becomes a point where when everyone has already decided where they are going to go a month before the season has even ended, it really takes away from my energy to try and deliver on what I believe would be a multi-stage process and give teams and players the opportunity to really interact with each other, get to know each other, and have an opportunity to have dynamic conversations in that time frame. People elected to get all their work done early, and that negated the need for a show. Now, that's one half of it. because I'm not just going to put this on the rookies. The other half of this is also me and my personal life and what time that I have in my life, or rather what time I don't have in my life. Some of you may or may not know, I've been hosting some of you may, only a few of you know this actually, but for transparency, I've been hosting my partner for the last 7 months or so, and they're an epileptic patient. They have a number of medical conditions that make life challenging at times, and starting in May, the amount of medical issues that began to present themselves became a near daily occurrence, to the point where it resulted in one point, after a day of 6 seizures in about 3 hours, I made the executive decision to take them to a hospital, where we found out that for the last 2 years, the dose of anti-seizure medication that they had been on was a dose appropriate for a 10-year-old child. They are not a 10-year-old child, let me be clear. I am not dating a child. I am dating a 27-year-old adult. So, with that being said, this neurologist that originally prescribed this dose had also originally given them a medication that didn't even directly treat seizures. It was an anti-anxiety medication because the neurologist was in doubt that they had epilepsy. So, not thrilling to find that out, but it's a relief to get an update to the medication and to get some changes made. But
Absolutely.
that means that for basically, when I was hoping to try and recoup, rest, reset, and and start doing prep work for my first off season and for the real transition, my life immediately turned into a tailspin with near daily medical emergencies, seizures, what have you. It's been hard. It's been real challenging. The love is not hard. Is not the hard part. It's the taking care of someone you love whenever they are not well. That's the hard part. And a lot of people have been kind enough to say, real life comes first. Well, this is a moment where I put real life first, and I wasn't being public about it because, to a certain extent, I have my privacy, and to a greater extent, they have their privacy. But this has become prevalent enough, and this has become a big enough deal where one of the things that I have to directly point to is the fact that my life has been essentially, I have been living in a snow globe that has been violently shaken on a paint stirrer for the last 2 months. As of 2 weeks ago today, I was boarding an airplane to take to flight to the SFL convention, where I was all weekend. I flew back on Monday. Tuesday, I was home. And last Wednesday, for those of you keeping track, that's 8 days ago, I drove from Texas to Oklahoma to help my partner move. They are no longer living with me. They are back in Oklahoma amongst family and friends and getting things situated up there. But I've been there 8 days, basically packing, moving boxes, U-hauling it up, doing everything I can, and also trying my best to make adjustments to the Dev League, get contracts fixed, correct the payouts issue that was happening, and get everything that needed to be in line that wasn't in line after the SFL weekend to finally coalesce. Oh, and I've also been working my job while doing all this. I haven't taken a day off. So that has been my life. I'm finally on the way home to see my wife. It's going to be wonderful to see Zena again. But my God, has it been a very, very, very trying 3 months.
I understand. I mean, you were open and honest enough to tell me a lot about it. Of course, it wasn't my business to let people know what was going on with you. But I am glad that you did kind of open up and let people understand as to why certain things that you did plan maybe didn't come to fruition. Maybe it took longer than like the team listing actually coming out took longer than that we felt that it should, or that even you planned it. But now that we have a better look at what's going on with you personally, I think that there should be some grace given for you on that. Now, I will say this: I have two more questions for you. One is anonymous, and then one is just about your overall experience being the SFL commissioner. Okay. This
Go.
this this one, there were rumors that you encourage players to sell off some attributes in order to make themselves affordable or make themselves available for the dev team or eligible for the dev team. Did that happen?
Yeah, I said the option was there. And I said that is an option to do because there were about 5 different people that complained to me that they missed the dev team by 1 point or 2 points of overall. And there were people who had been monitoring where the overalls had been and were hoping for their own opportunity to be on the dev team with the alterations that they had seen me make, and asked what they could do and how they could do it. And I said, within the rules at current, this is an option. This is the way to go about it. Now, are people upset about that? Yes. Do I think that people have the right to critique me? Sure. Do I feel bad about telling people that that was within the rules and an option? No. I don't regret it because as SFL and commissioner, I'm not going to hide what is possible. I'm not going to blatantly tell people that my system is broken and should be cheated. But I will say that there are rules that there are things that exist within the system, and there are ways that you can go about getting on the dev team within the rules that currently exist based on what your experience is. And this also comes from a place where I personally know how important the dev team is in comparing and contrasting to what you're able to do and how you're able to grow as a player and what you're able to handle. Being 1 to 2 points away from being on the dev team is such a gut punch. Being and having that chance at being on the dev team taken from you because you progressed a little too much and you didn't know it, and now you are completely unable to meaningfully grow your player at pro prices because you put a few too many points in a particular stat, really, really is a negative customer impact in my mind. Because that is the other aspect that I'm considering here. I am not considering all of the time what looks good from a PR standpoint. Should I? Possibly. I could do more of that, yeah. But I am first and foremost about the customer experience. I am first and foremost here for people to get their money's worth, for people to want to continue to be a part of this community. And if there are problems within the rules, there are problems and loopholes that are being exploited, rest assured, I'm not going to leave them there. I'm not going to leave the front door unlocked if someone burgles my house. And that is why there are 7 rule changes. One of them is specifically to address salary dumping and selling off of stats. Because I knew it was a rule that existed, I didn't want to make that change last minute when people had already started their processes before I even gave the advice to anyone. I had seen it happening. I'm going to pretend I'm blind. But I'm also not going to let you get away with it forever.
Okay, because I guess the concern was that you're by advising that, and now that takes a spot away from someone else that could have actually, that was qualified for it, but then they just shaved something off, just to be able to get on the dev team that could have taken the place from somebody else. I think that's one of the concerns. That people
Maybe it could have, and I see that concern. But let me tell you a just simple fact: this kind of shaving was happening before I ever started creating a dev team. This kind of shaving was already in place. People already dumped salary at the end of the season on the regular.
Yeah.
It just became tactical,
Salary cap.
and I don't believe for a second that I am the first person who said, "Yeah, you can be on the dev team. Just sell some points." I don't believe for a second that I was the first.
Okay. Gotcha. Last question for you, dear. In your experience as the SFLM commissioner, how easy or difficult is this position to be in? And would you consider having an assistant commissioner or like what is it, like a deputy SFLM commissioner to help you out?
So it's hard to really answer this with a coherent I shouldn't say coherent. It's hard to answer this objectively because I've only done this for one season. I haven't even done it for a full calendar year yet, which is really my minimum to really assess how difficult it is, really. Because all I did was initially take what was handed to me, tell people what I wanted, find out what I could have right away, what I couldn't have right away, and then do my best to get us across the finish line and actually have a season. That was difficult. Having one of my SFLM bids for expansion withdraw themselves a couple of weeks after I actually had them announced at halftime in the SFLM championship game is difficult. Having to bring in a team that was originally supposed to be mine and my wife's, but then became just my wife's because I was not going to be involved in the running of a team that is in a league that I am commissioner of, doesn't fly. That is a crack in the dam of credibility. Something that I will not stand for. I do not want people questioning my integrity. I do not want people questioning my honesty. People questioning my competence, sure, I can hear that. But if you're going to go out and say some things about how I'm running things, then I really, really hope that you're planning to volunteer some of your time. Because let me tell you, one of the reasons I took this job in the first place is because of a lot of people complaining about the SFLM and nobody standing up to volunteer their time in ways that Cameron would accept. Now, I happen to be in the right place at the right time, and I'm trusted enough to take the rock and run with it. Since then, I have brought in people to try and continue helping me with that to the best of my abilities. And that has been, overall, I would say, a success. But improvement. The producing isn't hard. It's fun. Producing and calling a game at the same time, now that's hard. Making sure that the roster file is updated was honestly beyond me, and I was grateful to have assistance during the season for that. And I am grateful to have more assistance for that this season, as well as with stats. I have more help this season than I had last season. So I already am working on building a more complete staff around me. Now, what would I even have a deputy commissioner do? That's a real that's not me being smart-assy here. That's a genuine question. I don't even know what a deputy commissioner would do for me, because I would have to have someone in that position who is passionate about the league, but also does not stand to gain in any way, shape, form, or fashion, has no dog in the hunt, as it were. Because I love JW, but JW while he is one of my right-hand minions, love you, J-Dub, he is also the owner. He is also, or not the owner, he is also a coach for the Detroit Maulers. He is also heavily involved in San Jose. I can't have him in that role. He is too enmeshed within. He is too enmeshed within both levels to be impartial, and he knows that. For many other people who are volunteering their time and their efforts to be involved in the SFLM, the answer is the same. They are too involved with the league in some form or capacity to be impartial enough to be trusted with the kind of keys that Cam gave me. I have some serious power as far as what I can do in the portal itself. And that is something that is not shared. The keys to the kingdom are not things that I get to make copies of and hand out, nor do I want to. There are things that are my responsibility that I have to tackle. Now, if it's something that's outside of the portal, then maybe I could have a deputy commissioner helping in some capacity, but I don't even know what I would have them doing that I don't already have JW or Ellie or DJ or Miles, just to name the first few people that come to mind as to what needs to be done and getting it done.
Okay. I was just asking because, well, like you were saying, like these individuals are heavily involved on teams in the SFLM and within the SFL and things like that. And it may be a situation to where they have life happens. So if you had someone that was there to kind of have a grand overview to kind of keep things flowing, not necessarily giving them the keys to the kingdom themselves. I get that because that's a responsibility. Just for those things that, because I don't know your schedule like that to be able to advise what they could or could not help you with. But if you took some time out to kind of look and see maybe what they're doing, maybe shifting some responsibilities to that individual. But again, it's kind of hard to find people that actually want to help on a more consistent basis and be serious about it. So if you are able to find someone that is able to help on a more consistent basis, every day there's always someone you can count on, maybe you can get some of that stress off your head. Because like you just said, you had a lot of stuff going on with you. And that's some of the reasons why things were kind of pushed back, what you originally wanted to do. Perhaps that person could help you with the rookie team announcements, doing the announcements, or kind of facilitating it for you. So all you have to do is just slide in, do your thing, slide back out again. So that's all I'm saying. If there's somebody that was capable of doing that and you trusted them, Cam trusted them, I think that would be a good look for you. So you're not stressed out, man, because I can hear it. I when we were talking at the convention. So I already know.
Yeah, it's been an adventure. I would genuinely say that from the depths of my soul that 2025 to date has been one of the most challenging, rewarding, stressful periods of my life in its entirety. And I have been very grateful to have gotten a therapist. Everyone should be thinking, PSA, mental health, go get a therapist if you don't have one. If you do have a therapist, I hope you like them. But yeah, no, I've been leaning on the people around me and the people that have shown up and said, hey, I've got time, I've got efforts, and I've got specific ideas about what I can be doing, because I've got people that like raise their hand and say, hey, if you need something, I'm available. But a lot of that doesn't help me because I have a number of things that I need to do at any given time, and I theoretically have tasks assigned out to people. But at this point, I've tried to delegate every single task that isn't do something in the portal to my staff. And I'm kind of concerned that I'm overworking him, to be honest, with just how much I've pushed out in their direction. But at the same time, it's been necessary just for me to function and for updates to still be happening and for people to get, for data to even be gathered, for things to be put into the portal. I have been delegating. For any article that has been written since I probably want to say June, I have delegated that. I have not been in a position in life to be able to do any of that myself. I have only been able to do my best to oversee, try and proofread, try and check things, and then move on. I've been doing my best, as you say, slide in, do my thing, and slide out since then. But it came with first building that staff, getting volunteers, and actually getting an understanding of what it is that I even need to do. Because there's so much that I've been having to learn on the job that you get told, oh, well, you need to do that takes is so nebulous because there's only one person who's done it before, and he's been doing it his way. But his way is different, and his lifetime, and his cycle is different, and his timing is different because his full job is the SFL. His full-time job is now the virtual football network. And even he had troubles keeping up with the SFLM by his own admission. There's some people who said, oh, there's been an admission, oh, I hear word that if there weren't Alex West, that there wouldn't be an SFLM. That's correct. The SFLM would not have had a 10th season if I had not raised my hand and said, okay, I'll be the commissioner. I'll put on the production. I bought a new computer, and I drove a state away to learn how to do it over a weekend and get everything set up to the best of my abilities. So anyone who questions my resolve can see my body of work to now. Anyone who questions my competence, I only have, or my methods, I only have one response. I suggest that you look to the wisdom of Vince Lombardi. The man won 5 NFL championships before the NFL-AFL merger, and then he won 2 Super Bowls beyond that. And he said, praise in public, criticize in private. Because when you criticize in private, you give an opportunity for your concerns to be addressed, to find out that the information that you think is one way is not necessarily accurate, and to have a dialogue in real time with somebody. And my DMs are open. I am here to answer questions. I am here to talk to people. I am here to listen to suggestions. And I have a server just to talk about the SFLM as well with other people who care about it, who are invested in it, who want it to be better than it is, who know, like I do, that there's still room for improvement, who know that it's not just one season of 75% one-score games that you can call it done and say, hey, yep, no, I'm a good commissioner. I can't rest my hat on one season. I've got to make things better year after year. My lesson for my own next year is that obviously there's some work to be done in the handoff in the off seasons. I've made some own personal adjustments in my life. I've got a staff around me now, and I'm not going to have as much I'm not going to have as many crises at once that I need to address. Ideally, I say ideally. Ultimately, I think a lot of things could have gone better this offseason, but a lot of things could have been handled a lot differently on a lot of places. I've learned that if it didn't happen in league content, it didn't happen. I have opinions about that, but keep pushing.
Well, like I said, everybody's learning. And again, that's the reason why I decided to have you on and just answer some of these questions, because I think people know a little bit more about the situation and a little bit more about in the grand scheme of things, how it was working for you. So, like I said, everybody deserves grace. this is a learning curve. There were decisions that you made that probably didn't work out in your favor. Maybe advice that you were given that you probably were like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I get it. Everything is about a learning curve. Personally, I'm grateful that you took over the SFLM, because if it was going to be nothing, so people wasn't going to have, rookies weren't going to have a home. They weren't. That it bothers me, because that was a staple, and Cam got too busy to maintain it. He had other people that didn't want to maintain it. He asked someone else. Harley, he could not do it. You was the one that stepped up. So I think grace should be given for you, and anybody that has advice that could help you on your journey, especially all of our veterans that have been here for a while, coaches, owners. I think that they should lend a hand to you, and hopefully we'll all get moving in the right direction and get things out timely. But again, thank you so much, Alex, for your time. I'm gonna give you the last word, because we're heading at an hour and 45 minutes now. I know you try to get out of here, so I'm gonna give you the last word, and then we get out of here.
Well, I know I came on here pretty angry. I've said it. I've been in a mood for about a week, I think, understandably. It's been a challenging time, but I appreciate those who've had patience with me. I am appreciative of the grace that I've been given in my first season. I think that there's some people who are fine with things until it really jostles them personally, but it's one of those things where, while I understand where it comes from, I respect that it's a bothersome thing. I'm here. I'm a person. I'm a human being. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do things that you aren't going to like. But I'm not a stone edifice. I am here to listen to you. But it's a lot easier to listen to you, and it's a lot easier to get your questions answered directly in a timely fashion if you come to me as soon as you have a question. My DMs are open. I do not have them blocked for this reason, because I want to be able to help everyone in the SFL and the SFLM as best as I am able, whether that's as the SFLM commissioner, whether that's as a Lexington wide receiver who's looking to make his mark, whether that's as a scouting guy who or whether that's as scouting, or whether that's as someone who's a broadcaster and is enthusiastic about the broadcasting side of things. I want to help people find ways to make that mark. And I am here and I am always open to hear ways to do that better. So please, hit my line.
Let's learn and grow together, y'all. I appreciate you for your time, Alex. Thank you so much. Safe travels back home, dear. Are you almost there?
We are about 15-ish minutes. So I got a little bit ahead of that. I tell you what, we made it. We met you. You kept me from the Texas-Oklahoma. You got me from the Texas-Oklahoma border all the way to where 820 meets where 820 loop on the north side meets 35 west. So getting closer.
Glad to help. Well,
Alex,
anything
from speeding with a left foot.
Left foot, I feel you. But thank you so much again. If you have any more, if you want to go the next, once you get in and you get settled, and maybe down the line, if you want to talk about some of those changes that were in the article that Ellie wrote today, I would love to be able to discuss that with you as well. Maybe a little bit down the line once you get yourself situated and things like that. And we can look forward to a brighter future in the SFLM. And I appreciate you for your time, brother.
Absolutely. Oh, and I know you were going to give me I'm sorry. One last thing that I forgot. Just because I've been getting questions, yes, the SFLM progression is beginning next weekend. And yes, the SFLM season is starting next week.
Ooh. All right, then. Y'all heard it here. Get ready. It's on and popping. All right, man. Make it home safe. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
You too. Everybody, well, I want to thank you for joining us this evening. I did kind of get Alex in on the last second win. So hopefully he did answer your questions for him. As you heard, he said he is an open book. So if you have any more questions that you want to ask him, maybe some more clarifying questions from the ones that I asked earlier, feel free to reach out to him. Every time I reached out to him, when he had the time, he was answering my questions thoroughly. So don't be afraid, y'all. Got a question, just ask. Ask the source. All right. Looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week, y'all. But until then, y'all stay safe. Each other well. For Alex, for Jason, and for Andrew. Striker out.
Across the night, city winks asleep as I hear her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight. If this town is just an apple, then let me take a bite. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? Reaching out, touch a stranger. Electric eyes are everywhere. See that girl, she knows I'm watching. She likes the way I stare. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? I like living this way. I like loving this way. Looking out across the morning, the city's heart begins to beat. Reaching out, I touch her shoulder. I'm dreaming of a street. If they say